Support for this podcast comes from the law firm of Davis Malm. Whether you're a developer, property owner, manager, or commercial tenant, their real estate attorneys know the lay of the land, not just the law. Learn more at davismalm.com.
WBUR Podcast, Boston.
I'm Darryl C. Murphy, and you're listening to The Common. Congratulations to all the runners who participated in the Boston Marathon yesterday, and big shout to all the people cheering them on, whether you were home or out there on the route. Some of you may be feeling inspired to hit the road after seeing thousands of athletes crushing those miles, or perhaps you're at the very beginning of your running journey and you're still trying to find where you fit in the sport. No matter where or who you are when it comes to running, this episode is for you. Last week at WBUR's City Space, I sat down with Martinez Evans. He is the founder of the Slow AF Run Club, which is a running community for slow runners and walkers. We sat down for a live event and talked about his journey as a runner and his work to make the sport of running more welcoming. And just a heads up, this conversation has been edited for time and clarity. Enjoy. So, to start us off, Martinez, I want to give folks some background on who you are in case they're not familiar, right? So, more than a decade ago, you go to see the doctor about some hip pain. You were about 360 pounds at the time, and during that visit, the doctor says, "You're fat, and you need to lose weight or you'll die." That's the voice that was in my head, right? Now you respond, "Screw you." Did you really say screw you?
I did.
You said screw you, or did you say, okay, you said, okay.
Another four-letter word.
Yeah. You said, screw you, I'm going to run a marathon. The doctor doubled down and said, if you run a marathon, you'll die. So you went out and bought a pair of running shoes, and the rest is history. As of today, as you're on this stage, you've run more than 100 distance races, including the big one, the Boston Marathon. Yep. You're a runner, you're a trainer, an author, and founder of the Slow AF Run Club, which has thousands of members, and you've been on the cover of Runner's World, and you've been featured in Men's Health naked. Yeah. You out here living. And this is all part of your advocacy in making running a more inclusive space for all body types and all paces. So that's quite a journey. My first question, why running? Why was it a marathon that came to your mind that day?
Darryl, there's still some days I even think about that myself, like why running? The short answer was I was being facetious. Like this doctor, there was this whole diatribe of like, you need to start walking to lose weight, all this other stuff. And I remember just thinking to this guy, like, didn't I just tell you, like, my job consists of me being on my feet for 10 hours a day?
Mm-hmm. You was working in retail.
I was working in retail. Not only retail, but retail in a suit, hard bottom dress shoes for 10 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
So for this doctor to be like, you fat, you need to lose weight, you need to start walking, I'm like, I'm already on my feet.
Yep.
So for me, I'm just getting angry and I'm getting frustrated. And I was like, you know what? Screw that. Or the other four-letter word. I'm going to run a marathon because you've already put me at the lowest totem. You go for one extreme, I'm going to go to the other extreme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so you really went to an extreme, and you became, you're an advocate for people.
Yeah.
You know, you're an influencer. You're representing for the people who are slower, for the people who are bigger. Like you're saying, no matter what your body type is, you are a runner. If you want to run, just run.
Big facts.
Go at your own pace. You know, you've been doing this now for more than 10 years.
Yeah, 13 years now.
So tell me, over that time, what kind of progress have you seen, and in what places is more progress needed? Or is progress, period, needed, you know?
Yes. I think that's simply like how I can answer the question. Yes. So has there been progress made in the running industry? Absolutely. We've made strides, especially when it comes to the body positivity or body politics or whatever lens you like to lay on. Yes, we've had some progress there. But there's still a lot more progress to be done and to be made in the sport of running. I think one of the things is just pacing. Mm-hmm. And, whenever somebody says all paces are welcome, to me, what that means is all paces are welcome up to a 10-minute mile.
Words mean things.
Words do mean things.
But apparently not if you're slow.
Not if you're slow. Or I think about, some of the other groups and Facebook groups you might be a part of, and you say I'm a slow runner or I'm trying to post my time to get some encouragement, and somebody's like, that's not running, you walking. It's like, man, I'm busting my butt. And you got the nerve to tell me that I'm not running?
You're doing your sexy pace.
Exactly. Exactly. So I think there's a lot of things in the sport of running that we need to revamp and improve on. I also think about how requirements to get into certain races.
What might you be talking about? Any examples you want to share?
Maybe a race that has a mascot as a unicorn. But I think about all these things when you just think about running. There's so much about numbers, about what's your pace, how fast you running, things of that sort. And for me, I've always took it to the simplest things. If you're not an elite athlete running, if your job is not to go run races and get first, second, and third place, none of this stuff matters. Mm-hmm. Like
Right on.
Like none of this stuff matters. So you're literally paying for a $5 medal. You're paying to be a part of this thing. So if that's the case, then why have all of this gatekeeping that comes around the sport when 99.9% of the people who's participating is not trying to compete for a medal?
That's real. It makes me think about how, how you talk about how people see you running or something and they got to yell something at you. In fact, the Slow AF Run Club was because you were running a race and somebody said, hey, man, you slow as.
Yeah. Another 4-letter word.
And you took it and you turned it around. You made it a positive, right? But I feel like when people do that, when they see a big guy like you running a marathon, all their life they thought, oh, big people ain't supposed to run marathons. And they see you breaking that rule.
Minds explode once you really understand that all of us are participating in some made-up rules by somebody that we'll never meet.
We'll be right back.
Politics has never been stranger or more online, which is why the politics team at Wired is making a new show, Wired Politics Lab. It's all about how to navigate the endless stream of news and information and what to look out for. Each week on the show, we'll dig into far-right platforms, AI chatbots, influencer campaigns, and so much more. Wired Politics Lab launches Thursday, April 11th. Follow the show wherever you get your podcasts.
And we're back with founder of the Slow AF Run Club, Martinez Evans, live at City Space. The Boston Marathon.
Yeah.
You ran it in 2021. Talk to us about that experience. I feel like you've been, but talk to us about that experience.
So, good old Boston. Boston can be mean to you.
No. You don't say.
As a black man to run the streets of Boston, it can be mean to you. But that day, it was the pandemic Boston. So it was the fall Boston. I think it was in September, October. And it was like hot for that day, especially for that season. Like I remember it being 75 degrees and like maybe 70% humidity. And I remember as I was walking from the hotel to the bus, like I was already drenched in sweat. So I already knew like this is not gonna be a fun race. So I'm running, and the smell and the taste of Gatorade was making me nauseous. So like now, like I gotten to the point of no return where you can't put in enough water in your system to stay hydrated. And I remember being at the medical tent asking the medical team, like, hey, do you have something else other than Gatorade? So she's like, we have broth. So she gave me broth. So then I was like, all right, instead of going to a water stop and like getting water, I'm gonna go to the medical tent and get broth. So nasty. So I get to the last, like, I'm thinking mile 22, and I asked the medical team, hey, do y'all have broth? And it's like, oh, we just packed up, but wait, like, we can get you something. So I'm waiting. It's like 5 minutes that went past. I'm like, I remember going in the tent, be like, hey, like, I'm running a race. Like, I can't wait for the water to boil. Like, I'll drink cold broth. And I remember this lady being like, come here. It's like, stick your hand out. So she puts 2 bouillon cubes in my hand and give me a cup of water and says, take those bouillon cubes and put them in the back of your mouth and sip on the water until the rest of the race. So I chewed on a bouillon cube and sipped on water for the rest of the race. If that's not determination, I don't know what is.
So the weather's warming up, days are getting longer. Boston Marathon is here, pretty much. You know, we're days away, and by the time some folks hear this, it will have passed. But there's probably going to be some people who are inspired.
Yeah.
If somebody walked up to you and said, Martinez, I want to start running. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. What's the first thing you're going to tell them?
First, I'm going to say congratulations, and I got a lot of running war stories to tell them. Typically, what I tell people is start off with intervals. I think the most simplest thing somebody can do is run for 15 seconds and walk for 90 seconds, and then gauge from there to say, okay, that 15 seconds was easy. I can let me run a little bit longer, or that 90 seconds I was bored out my head. Like, let me shorten that out, and then go from there. Second thing I would tell them is to join the Slow AF Run Club, like the real one, the real Slow AF Run Club, not the fake Facebook app that's out there who's like proposing as me. Like, we have a actual app, right? So you can download the Slow AF Run Club on your Apple or Android device, and we have there is various things from coaching to group runs. And the cool thing that we are doing with the Run Club is that we just got our 501c3 status.
Oh, congrats.
So some of the things that we're looking to do with the Run Club is to be able to launch regional clubs all over the nation.
Oh, man, congratulations. Give it up for that. Yeah. What's one piece of advice you would give them that you wish somebody told you when you got started?
Just one piece?
Just one.
Okay. What I would tell them then, if it's just one piece of advice, is that all of this stuff is made up. All of the stuff is made up. And what you have to do is distill through all the made up stuff to figure out what works best for you, and then do that. Continue to lean into that feeling of, oh yeah, this feels great, versus, but these publications and my running friends are telling me I need to do this, so like, let me lean into that, and that feels unnatural. Like, feel that feeling, and then versus going into like that unnatural feeling, continue to lean into that natural feeling, and you'll stay into the sport of running for as long as you want to be in it.
Well, Martinez, that's our time. Please, everybody, give it up for Martinez Evans.
Thank you, everyone.
Man, thank you so much for coming through and talking with us. And that's our show for today. Thank you so much for listening to The Common. Look, this conversation was a lot of fun. If you want to check out the full discussion, you can hit the link in the show notes. And if you want to find out more about events at CitySpace, you can head to wbur.org/events. I'm Darryl C. Murphy, and I will see you out there on the road. Peace.